Immigration Creek running fast and high. How residents and businesses are preparing for what's to come.
Record snowpack to quickly melt.
We have team coverage tonight. Our KSL News specialists are tracking it all, from communities preparing for the worst to major roadways getting shut down already.
Kevin is here with everything you need to know, including flood watches and warnings out there. We're going to get to him in a moment. Let's get to Lad Egan to start things off, who's live at the mouth of Spanish Fork Canyon. Flooding there, closing US 89 near Thistle for much of the day.
And Lad, this must have caused many in nearby towns to take a lengthy detour.
Yeah, it is a lengthy detour, and the
all right, Kevin, we'll see you in just a bit. Well, another area of concern, Immigration Creek, where the water is flowing very high and very fast. News specialist Dan Rascone joins us live from along the riverbank. And Dan, we can hear that water. We can see it moving quickly behind you.
Yeah, it really is coming out of Immigration Canyon very quickly. You can see that rush of water. Look at that. Boy, lots of the snow melt. This area that I'm at here right here is kind of a measuring area for flood control. You can see that stick just behind me measuring the water, and every day it seems to get a little less, or the water seems to cover it more and more. Now, for the Collins who live right along the riverbank up the canyon, the scariest part has been last night. After 9 o'clock is when they really saw the creek rise and peak, going nearly right to the top of their sandbags. They say they've been preparing as much as they can for about a month. They say in the 30 years that they've lived here, this is the worst they have seen it. Well, the mayor of Immigration Canyon Metro Township also sharing some of his concerns.
Well, this is what happens after an epic year of snow.
Put out at least 400 sandbags, and then we've gone a layer higher and a layer higher, depending on how high the stream is.
I'm a little bit worried about today. We're going to have some very high flows today. Yesterday we went up to a flow of 144 cubic feet per second.
To put that in perspective, the mayor says 130 cubic feet per second is flood stage. That's also the concern with the popular Ruth Diner restaurant that sits right along the creek there. The water has overflowed its banks, causing them to close the lower portion of their patio. Coming up at 6 o'clock, we're going to head up to Ruth's Diner to kind of give you a live look at what it looks like right there, kind of the things that they've put into place to keep that water away from their restaurant. They'll have that at 6 o'clock. I'm Dan Rascone, live at 5.
All right, Dan, thank you. Stick with KSL as we continue to watch.
Homes from disaster and business drenched.
There is no better definition of creekside dining in Salt Lake City right now.
The popular eatery hoping to stem the high tide. Watch specialists fanning out all across the state for you tonight, and Kevin's right here in studio watching several flood advisories that you need to be aware of. We'll get to him in just a moment.
First, Shelby Lofton is in a remote part of Weber County where what looks like a big construction project is really just crews doing their part to keep the neighborhood safe from flooding. Shelby?
Most of the drive often. KSL-5 News.
Shelby, thank you. There are also some big concerns up Immigration Canyon where the creek is running high and very fast. It's already flooding in some areas. News specialist Dan Rascone joins us live from the popular Ruth's Diner, which is one of those areas. Dan, the dinner ambiance must be pretty loud there.
Yeah, it really is. Boy, this creek has turned into a raging river here. Here's Immigration Creek right here. You can see how fast, how high it's moving. Here's what the problem is. It's basically coming right over its banks here, making its way down here through the patio area of Ruth's Diner here. So they've lined with sandbags this diner all along, so it's diverting that water right back into the river. Now, if we go over here, let me help my photographer over these sandbags. Go right over the top there. You could see the Immigration Creek. The general manager telling me this water right here, about 9 feet deep.
We love Ruth's Diner.
A beautiful day to be enjoying lunch with family out on the patio of Ruth's Diner.
Well, I've been coming here for a very long time.
But never has anyone at this table seen something like this. Immigration Creek, right next to the patio, turning into a raging river.
It's crazy, scary, water. Never seen it like this.
And that includes Patrick McIver, the restaurant's general manager.
That's a lot of water. It's running fast.
But the diner is staying open.
We're still pumping out great food.
The only flooding issue is to their lower patio. As a result, they've lined that section with sandbags, diverting the water right back into the river.
I think we're as fully prepared as we can be. I mean, it's water. It's going to do what it wants to do.
It's running high.
Up the canyon, Rich and Betsy Collins have also been working for weeks in their yard to prepare for what's to come.
This is our bridge with melting snow from an epic winter.
They too saw a peak late last night that got them very worried. The water running right up to the top of their 400 sandbags they've stacked along the riverbank.
It was as bad as I've ever seen it.
Downstream, the mayor of Immigration Canyon Metro Township is keeping a very close eye on this measuring stick that continues to get buried deeper and deeper.
That concerns me that we're starting out this high at this time of day.
A lot of water, but Roost Diner is making the best of it.
There is no better definition of creekside dining in Salt Lake City right now.
And back live here at Immigration Creek, boy, you could see it running very high, very fast. Again, that water going over the banks and kind of making its way through the patio area here. The flood warning for Immigration Creek runs through Thursday. The big concern, what's going to happen about 9 or 10 o'clock tonight when it really begins to peak? How high is it going to get? Deanie, back to you.
Yeah, Dan, I heard you saying earlier today that many of the employees filled those sandbags, so I know they're hoping for the best and working to make it work. Thanks.
Yeah.
Situation is concerning enough. Sandy.